I know I look rather young to be a real physician, but I am. And as always, my license number's in the description and so forth. But let's look at, I want you to not just trust that I've hand selected these because I think that they have good health benefits, but I've hand selected them because they have good health benefits that you can check. I like fact checking. So let's go into PubMed right here. Okay. So PubMed.gov. I know I always worry about my chin. I've gained a little weight. Need to get back out there. Alright, so lavender. So there's a couple of studies that I've actually linked in the description of the tea itself. But basically, so there's a couple different studies here that we can look at. So here are 3 different studies. You can look at what lavender does and doesn't work for. So I searched into PubMed. There was effects of lavender on anxiety, a systematic review, and meta-analysis. A meta-analysis is when they take a bunch of different studies and run it through a different set of statistics so that they can see how legit the total sum of the data comes to. It's pretty much the best level of research you can get. So what they did is they followed what these researchers did, and you can find them. The researchers here were David Donnelly, Michelle Antonelli, and a bunch of other people. This was published in Phytomedicine 2019, December. And so that's how you can find it. The title of the study is Effects of Lavender on Anxiety, a Systematic Review and Meta-Analysis. And obviously you would like to read the whole paper if possible. But they looked into 65 randomized controlled trials, 7,993 participants, and they found that the big limitation of this review was the low average quality of available studies on the topic. The majority of included RCTs were characterized by a high overall risk of bias. Another limitation regards the heterogeneity of study designs, blah blah blah. So basically, their final results were a little bit, it was a little bit challenging for them, okay? So, overall, the qualitative synthesis indicated that 54 of the randomized controlled trials and 17 of the other studies reported at least a significant result in favor of lavender use for anxiety. The quantitative synthesis showed that lavender inhalation can significantly reduce anxiety levels measured with any validated scale. So they had a 95% confidence interval. And their P was less than 0.00001, so that's pretty good. Any of these studies by themselves wouldn't have been able to show that, but having a really, really, really large pool basically improves your confidence interval and your P. I don't know if you're interested in statistics at all, but it makes a large difference. However, lavender inhalation did not show a significant effect in reducing systolic blood pressure as a physiological parameter of anxiety. A significant effect in diminishing anxiety levels was also found in favor of the use of oral Selexin for at least 6 weeks, or the administration of massage with lavender oil. So it could be taken orally as a tea, or you could take it as a tea if you can't take. They didn't test a tea, but they tested taking it orally in this preparation, and so you could try that, or as oil on massage. So important to note that there are some benefits. It showed that it didn't reduce blood pressure, but it did help with how people reported their anxiety. So that's kind of cool, huh? Another little study, aromatherapy, the effect of lavender on anxiety and sleep quality in patients treated with chemotherapy. Now, we tend to not favor aromatherapy in our conventional medicine today, right? very difficult to measure and study actual doses that somebody would be getting in, right? And we tend to not like to dose things through the people's lungs anyway, right? So you won't really find a lot of us conventional physicians who are kind of cool with aromatherapy as a mainstay. However, it can't hurt. And so this was a study that was done, Clinical Journal of Oncological Nursing in 2018 April. So their result was that anxiety before and after chemotherapy did not vary among groups. The authors compared trait anxiety values before and after chemotherapy and found a significant difference in the lavender group. In addition, a significant change in PSQI measurements before and after chemotherapy was observed. However, the limitations of this study was that it was 70 of them, which is a very, very small number of people. You really want to have several hundred, ideally several thousand, but it may reduce anxiety there. So the big study is better. This one is by A.C. Oskaraman et al. And then one more study. This has been my favorite one to cite lately. Again, another very, very small study. Not a lot of great, proven evidence with it, but good still. The effect of inhaled lavender and sleep hygiene on self-reported sleep issues. A randomized controlled trial. What's important about this study is they went ahead and made sure to separate out the different, the people who just got sleep hygiene training and the people who got sleep hygiene and lavender. These were college students. It was, I think, 20-something college students. How many college students was it? I don't see the number here. It was not many. I know it wasn't many. Oh, 79. That's actually good. That's pretty good. Again, it's not good, but it's something. So, and the lavender and sleep hygiene group did better than just the sleep hygiene group. So that's pretty cool. Exactly. So you can use this to make a difference for sleep. So, I like to look at the evidence for things. I think that that's important and valuable. And obviously tea